Hello guys, welcome back to another episode in On Location. So today I'm at Koogler Wetland Prairie Reserve, and historically this used to be an old farmstead, and later on from that a dump site for, unfortunately, for like hazardous waste and just trash and any kind of runoff like that. But fortunately the site was acquired in 2003, so they've been restored it to a wetgrass prairie, and it's the only example in the Beaver Creek wetland corridor of a giant swamp. And the majority of the wetwoods inside the more shaded part of Koogler has a boardwalk, which is very helpful and just allows you to, get off of the really muddy and wet ground. So the trail length isn't too long, it's only about 1/6 of a mile, so it's gonna be a nice little short day here, but we can see what we can find. There should be plenty of different subjects, I would believe, just typical wetland stuff, different kinds of odonata, like dragonflies, damselflies, maybe some butterflies or skippers, wildflowers and stuff behind the prairie here, and then also any kind of birds that might be around. This is a very popular spot during spring migration for birds. You can see tons of different warblers and other kind of neotropical migrants here that use this kind of place and many other places during the wetland corridor to stop, eat, and rest. And it's also this is a very prime spot for the monarchs, and so when they migrate during typically late September, they usually come through this place as a good place with lots of sources of food and like milkweed. And of course, with it being a part of the and naturally with it being a part of the Beaver Creek wetland corridor, I'll show you later on. All the way on the other side is the Beaver Creek wetlands. The Beaver Creek goes right through it, so you get to kind of walk along that creek there for a while along the trail there. So yeah, should be something to find here. We'll just get started. So the prairie at the moment left a little bit to be desired. I think it's just past peak bloom, so maybe that's why some of the coneflowers are starting to wilt. And there wasn't too much butterfly or bird activity going on there. I did manage to get a few shots of some song sparrows that had some little food in their mouth, and some goldfinches that are chewing off the little bits of the purple coneflowers over there. But other than that, there wasn't too many other butterflies. I did see a few bees here and there, but so I moved into the inner part of Koogler here, and this is an overlook observation deck where you can just see clear across a good portion of Koogler Reserve over here. And if you look straight down below where it drops off below here, there's a concrete foundation, and it has tons of different plants, mainly pokeweed from what I can tell, but different kind of woody shrubs and plant species growing in it. And this actually used to be the foundation of the property or the farm or the barn that was on this with the Koogler family back in the day. So yeah, as we get deeper and deeper into the reserve here, you'll see more of the Beaver Creek, and we might see some more plant and wildlife species. So let's keep on going. Alright, so I'm trying something a little different here. A little bit of like an intimate landscape, or an abstraction, I guess, is these little fern-like leaves. I'm shooting top down. I'm getting a wide angle shot, about 24 millimeters. I'm shooting at f/16, which just allows to have like a really deep depth of field. It allows every fern leaf to be in focus in this kind of top-down wide angle shot. And I think that the results look really well, and they look even better in black and white. Alright, I'm photographing a smaller flower now. It's called a forget-me-not, is the common name for it. It's a really, really tiny, just kind of baby blue flower that's just about pea-sized, and it grows in these kind of clumps or clusters about 2, 3, 4. So due to this really, really small size, it's pretty much essential to use macro just to have it even then barely fill the frame. And I'm finding with my current setup is that the working distance is a lot harder. Even at 75 millimeters, I just can't get it to where it fills the frame quite exactly. Despite that, it's been a little bit of a creative challenge, I guess. I've been having to use really wide apertures just to really have it focus on that and drop out the rest of the background. Alright, next we have gray-headed coneflower, and I've been shooting kind of like a side profile perspective of it, doing a vertical so it shows more of the stem and kind of accentuates the length even though it's in a macro style photograph. And using no flash this time, I'm finding the light that's peeking through the tree and the leaves and everything is providing a sufficient enough amount of light where I really don't have to worry about that. But in that case, I'm still using a wide aperture. I'm still around the f 5.6, 6.3, 7.1 kind of range, up to f.8 and f.9. And I find the results look great. It really just illuminates that yellow, just really just pops in the entire frame because the background's really shallow and dark. Alright, so here we are at the Beaver Creek now. That's runs right along Koogler Wetland Prairie Reserve here. It's just amazing to think that wetlands stay a consistent temperature all year long. The water is generally about 70 degrees or so, give or take. Most bogs and fens are. And it's just amazing to think that the water just, maintains that consistency. And it's just a nice quiet creek stream that just flows right down here. And here at Koogler, you can get down on the gravel right beside the Beaver Creek here and really just see kind of out in the open, almost in the middle of it. You can just see straight down the views upstream and downstream. So unfortunately, the bad news is the trail that connects along the Beaver Creek here, it looks like it's been overgrown and it's pretty difficult to get right through. And I don't want to disturb any of the vegetation, of course, if there is any there is growing in the process right now. So I'm going to turn back around, and there's one more little loop where it takes us around some Cattail Marsh. And I'll show you that, guys, and we'll see what else we can find. But today's gonna be probably winding down pretty soon. Guys, that pretty much concludes Koogler Wetland Prairie Reserve today. It's got a couple different macro flower shots. Saw tons of birds, and in particular a gray catbird, which is a bird that likes to be in really dense, thick, shrubby habitat. And this is probably one of the perfect places for them to view them. And fortunately, I got some really good looks of them, kind of out in the open. When I guess I caught them off guard. Didn't get any photos of them, unfortunately, but I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for exploring with me, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good day, guys.